Joining us now on the panel, Boone Pickens, founder and chairman of BP Capital Management. Real nice to see you, Boone. Nice to see you again. You know, nothing more political than gas prices. I mean, they sling barbs at each other on the campaign trail, and I keep saying, come on, a president can't control the price of gas. We had a world market for that, so we don't have the president controlling the price of gas. Do you think this is going to continue to be a political blame who for whose gas prices are going to lower them?
Sure, they don't have anything else to talk about.
Well, you know, last night Mitt Romney was talking about the president's all-of-the-above energy strategy, and he kind of made fun of it. Listen.
I have sometimes understanding what he means when he says he's for all of the above when it comes to energy. And then I finally figured it out. He's for all of the energy sources that come from above the ground. The wind and the sun, all right? Now, I like the wind and sun, too. But I also like the energy that comes from below the ground, the oil, the coal, the gas. We're going to get them both.
You like wind and solar. You like natural gas. You really like natural gas. Tell me, who's got the better plan?
All American.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. You like independence from foreign oil.
Exactly, but
who's got the best plan of those two guys?
I do.
Yeah, are you running for president, sir?
I'm telling you, I've got the best plan. It's a simple plan. Well, the first thing is quit blaming somebody for the price of gasoline. That's all set by cartel, which is OPEC.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. They have the swing oil. They produce 31 million barrels a day, and they are going to call the shots. And they've already told you they have to have $100 a barrel because of social commitments within their country, meaning paying off.
And you're saying that I just talked to Fred Smith from FedEx. I mean, he's using more oil than any of us are ever going to use, right? We complain about what we're paying at the pump, but he said, just got to get used to it. He's saying exactly what you're saying. Get used to it. You have a new world here. The needle's not being moved by the United States. So what about the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline? Also very political. Should we do it?
Of course you should do it. The Saudis claim they have 250 billion barrels of oil. Okay, they don't. Probably 150, 175. But there's 250 billion barrels at Fort McMurray, Alberta. And that's the pipeline. That's Keystone.
So, Mr. Pickens, we're down from 60% reliance on imported oil in 2005 to 45% in 2011. What's been improving that number? What's been driving it? And what do we have to do to keep moving it down further?
Well, the first thing is the economy's down, demand's down.
Yeah.
So if you want to step down on the economy, you can cut demand even more. But the industry in the United States has done an outstanding job. The oil and gas in this country has gotten out there, found oil, found gas. We have the cheapest, just a second, we have the cheapest energy in the world. The cheapest. Nobody's cheaper than we are.
Real quick, the other though, after 20 years of stalemate, we have been increasing fuel economy standards. What's the role that's playing?
Oh, that's great. Anything that conserves, it helps the economy and the price of the fuel. But you're getting ready to have the gasoline price.
It's going to go back up.
Hang on to your hat.
Yeah, sir, fair to point out, though, that Keystone, most of that oil would go to China and India. We are exporting so much oil right now while the prices are so high.
No, we're not exporting. We're exporting product. So they're coming into our refineries with Brent North Sea, and it's coming out of their high price, and they're getting into that arbitrage and shipping it out of the United States. That's eaten, but we're not exporting oil. We're exporting product.
You know, it's interesting. Natural gas prices for natural gas have been going down, 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 and talking about how to use natural gas in this country. And I was, again, talking about Fred Smith from FedEx, talking about how to use that on their long-haul trucks, finding ways to use that. But in North Dakota, you got oil fields that they're switching from natural gas to oil because oil prices are so high they can make more money the other way.
Well, they're not switching. They're moving away from drilling dry gas wells and drilling oil wells is what it is. Not just in North Dakota. It's all over the country.
I love the oil business. But before we talk
listen, Fred Smith knows more about the energy than I do.
Would more domestic production have a material effect on the price Americans pay at the pump?
Well, more.
Would more U.S. production, domestic production of oil, significantly affect the prices Americans pay at the pump?
Sure would. Yeah, I mean, but you see, we're 10% under the rest of the world today on oil prices. Brent North Sea is a global price. It's $120 a barrel. We're $105. So we're 50.
Isn't the paradox, though, that the higher prices make it more attractive to drill for some of the tougher oil, which is what is increasing our domestic production?
But it's harder for the refineries to, like, you look at the Northeast, some of these refineries are now trying to refine this messy oil. It costs more to refine that stuff.
No, that isn't right. The refineries are in horrible shape because they have to compete with the Gulf Coast refinery. Gulf Coast refineries are processing light, sweet crude coming off of production out of the Williston Basin and out of Texas, out of West Texas.
And it's easier to refine stuff.
Yes, it is. But here you got the eastern refineries. They're processing heavier crude, and it costs more.
Right.
So they're taking in a foreign price crude, and it's about to
I want to ask you.
That's why those refineries are for sale.
I want to switch gears quickly because we really want to get to this. A big talking point for the president right now is about fairness, about rich people paying their fair share. And I'm happy to inform you that you're rich.
Well, and I feel very uncomfortable because he keeps saying that. I'm 84 years old next month, and after I was 70, I paid $665 million in taxes.
$665 million in taxes over 13 years.
Yes. And I feel I've been, in the last 2 years, I haven't made any money.
So what's your tax rate? Your effective tax rate? Do you know off the top of your head?
I have losses from 08 and 09. I didn't even pay any taxes last year.
So this whole discussion about...
My tax rate, I don't get a salary.
But is
so
it
if
fair,
I sold something, I would get...
So do you agree with this? So you don't agree with this whole Buffett rule, this whole idea that we can start on the road to fixing America's financial problems by making rich people pay a greater share of their wealth in taxes?
Redo the tax code. That's what we need to do. Quit, picking around the edge of it. Go ahead and just redo the tax code, do a value-added tax, and go from there. We'll get more taxes out of it. And now we've pieced it together where you got special interest, have special deal. And I don't like for him to say all the subsidies that the oil industry gets. Hey, come on. The oil industry plays the same thing as GE and other manufacturing companies.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mr. Pickens, this is something I've advocated for long. Reform the tax code, simplify it, make it easy to understand, do away with all these credits and exemptions. But as someone who plays very significantly in the energy industry, whether or not we're talking about oil, we could also talk about green energy subsidies. Would you be okay with that? As someone who plays in that industry, to say, okay, I'm fine. Do away with my credits and exemptions and subsidies. We'll be just fine?
Wait a minute.
So one of the beneficiaries of the complex tax code has been various aspects of the energy industry. But I'm saying you're in the energy industry, and you're advocating for a simplified tax code, and you're fine with that?
Sure, I'm fine with that, yes. But don't have the idea that you're going to replace foreign oil or any other oil with wind or solar. They do not move an 18-wheeler. The only thing you're going to move an 18-wheeler with is diesel or natural gas. That's it. And we're oversupplied with natural gas. It's $2 an MCF. Beijing is 16. The Mideast is 15.
All right.
And Europe is 13. And this summer, you will see $20 natural gas in Japan.
Boone Pickens. We got to leave it there. I could talk gas and oil. They're making fun of me. Fine to say oil like you. VP Capital Management. Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.